Emma, do you want to talk a little bit about how you're using the curriculum with your individual clients?
So there's a couple of different things I do. One, so Derrick and I have just started running a group together, which is really nice. So we're using the curriculum for what it's designed for as such. And that's been really cool to kind of see how that's all building, because it's iterative and sort of all builds on top of each other. But also within my coaching, I do a lot of one-to-one coaching. Since I did the curriculum training, I've just seen how I mean, I think Jacqueline said this earlier, it's a universal curriculum. It literally applies to anyone and everyone. And there is always something in there that is relevant to what they're talking about in a session, right? In most cases. So I quite often find myself sort of referring back to different exercises in there. So I might draw something up on a flip chart, or I'll talk about an analogy that's in there. Also, but there's always bits and pieces that I can pull from that curriculum that just add a different level of understanding to whoever I'm with, because it, like Jacqueline was saying, there's different layers in it, and it speaks to different ways that people learn. So I find that really helpful, and it's just nice to know that there literally is something in there for everyone. I suppose resonated with what you were saying. I was looking to do some work with a school. It's gone a bit quiet at the moment, but they need to make a load of changes on their special educational needs. I get the impression that they're quite a disorganized school, but they're really keen to bring in some element of well-being into the school as well. And they recognise that actually the two things go hand in hand, that the more resilient their team are, the more enabled they'll be to take on the recommendations that have been put in place for their special educational needs. I've sort of teamed up with a lady who does the special educational needs side of things, and I can provide the well-being, and that works really nicely as well. You can just see how these things just come together. And as soon as someone is more grounded, as soon as someone can see their health, they're much more capable of taking on the bits and pieces. They're just in a better place for it. I really like that side of it too, that you can feed it into other things.
Yeah, that reminds me of some conversations that I've had recently about some issues about officers. The prison system's going to lose a lot of staff, or is losing a lot of staff, and so the prison service is undergoing some difficulties. And actually we're looking at, exactly to both your point there, is that if we work with the staff, so it's sort of the trainer with the staff, but it helps them get grounded and get secure in their well-being and their resilience, regardless to whether they're actually running a program or not, they're going to have a different attitude on the wing and in that prison, which will automatically lift the level of consciousness in the whole place. So yeah, it's a really good point.
When you said language, Emma, I presume you were referring to English speakers, and even using the same language, the terminology can often be a stump, because people get caught up and hung up on certain types of words, and other words might trigger a negative thought process or whatever it is. So have you found that the curriculum has really helped to find a base of terminology that helps people to not get hung up, or is that what you were meaning?
Yeah, so I think when I was referring to language, it's a bit like the different ways that people learn. So some people like to listen, some people like to practice stuff, some people are, they want to see things up on a board or write things down. So that's what I meant by language. And also, yes, to your point, there is a, by going through the different sessions, it allows a group of people, or even the one person that you're working with and me, to build a common language between us, so we can start to explore things in the same way, with the same terminology. Because just because the way that the exercises are built, it opens up that dialogue.
It works on every level. And we've also noticed that a little goes a long way. So our massively truncated version is what we refer to as our distance learning program. So we took the curriculum, we truncated it down, we sprinkled some lived experience into that, and we send those workbooks into people who are still incarcerated, and they have never met a person. They only get booklets and then some correspondence, and they get impacted, and they come back with insights, and they come back with freshness that you think, wow, how does that work? So it's imbued, if you like, with the feeling, and I think it works with everybody regardless to the language.